Our kids in Northeast Ohio need our tribe now more than ever. Thus, we are excited to announce that Cleveland Indians Charities will be making a $20,000 donation in support of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Cleveland and all the wonderful work they do. Please join us in this effort. Thank you to WKYC, our corporate partners, Dollar Bank, Call It Giving, and Crescent Digital, as together we work to make the lives of the youth of our community better. Go Tribe.
WKYC Studios and the Cleveland Indians present Our Kids, Our Tribe fundraiser to support Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Ohio.
Hello, I'm Ben Axelrod here with Nick Camino. We are here for the next half hour as a part of WKYC Studios' digital kickoff to a special night where we have partnered with the Cleveland Indians to raise money for the Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Ohio. It's a program called Our Kids, Our Tribe.
Yeah, Ben, I mean, you think about the Boys and Girls Club here in Northeast Ohio. They play such a critical role for children in our community. You think about before and after school activities, meals, recreational sports activities. They do such a great job. They're such an integral part. But with the coronavirus, they've been hit so hard with deep staffing cuts, and they've even cut some programs.
And the clubs need your help to keep the current online programming going in full force to get the organization back to its full operation and programs once the club, like so many businesses and schools and activities, can resume.
So we think this is going to be a lot of fun. Over the next half hour, we're going to take you through some great interviews that we've done with some of your favorite Indians players. It'll be fun to check in with I see what they're doing, like all of us during this time. And at the same time, while that's going on, you'll be able to donate at WKYC.com. If you go to our website, you'll be able to see a link there with some instructions on how you can donate to really try and make an impact and help out the Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Ohio.
Yep, and first let's learn a little bit more about the Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Ohio.
Tonight, we're asking for some help for our kids, the 8,600 kids here in Northeast Ohio who take full advantage of the many opportunities offered to them by the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Ohio. At some time, and hopefully that's soon, the world is going to reopen, naturally when it's safe to do so. And when it does, the doors to the 39 sites of Boys and Girls Clubs across our area will hopefully open too. Like everything else, those doors have been closed while we all stay safe at home. We at WKYC, and with the Cleveland Indians standing by our side, are asking you to give whatever you can to make sure the Boys and Girls Clubs are there with full staffing when the kids need them. Now, I know this has been a major interruption in all of our lives, but we've always been there for our kids, and the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Ohio have been there for a lot of kids through the years. The clubs are safe, fun places for kids 6 to 18 to go every day after school. Their programs promote academic success, a healthy lifestyle, and character development. Imagine this, 54% of the alumni in a recent study, they responded and said the clubs, quote, saved their lives. So tonight, let's make sure the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Ohio are able to open up those doors again for our kids. At WKYC, we thank the Cleveland Indians, but especially you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
For any help you can give.
Well, you think about the clubs, they do so much for so many, and we want to give you that information again. To donate, if you go to WKYC.com and you look at the right-hand side of the page, that'll give you all the information on how you can help donate to the Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Ohio.
And the Indians, they're just as passionate about the Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Ohio as we are here at WKYC. And as promised, we have some great conversations coming up with some Indians players and staff members. And first up, our Jim Donovan talked to Cleveland Indians manager Terry Francona.
From the time I came to Cleveland, I was just so impressed with the spirit of Clevelanders and people in Northeast Ohio and all around Ohio, for that matter, how they stay in touch with their kids, whether it's through high school sports and they follow them to college sports, and then maybe some of them, a small fraction of them, go on to a professional career, or maybe they just follow them anyway. But when kids need help, I mean, around our part of the country, we really do help.
I think it's the Midwest, those Midwest values. You know, I grew up about an hour and 20 minutes from Cleveland, and, you know, it's small town, where everybody knows everybody and everybody helps everybody. And I feel the same way in Cleveland. I felt that since the time I got there. You know, when I'm driving my little scooter down East 4th Street or something, the policemen are, you know, they're sticking out their hand, giving you a high five, or it's just, it's that Midwest value type of thing. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I really miss sitting down at night and flicking on the TV and watching a ball game. And I guess when baseball comes back, we will really appreciate it even more.
Well, that would be my hope. I hope that regardless of how, I think we all know that when baseball comes back, if it's this year, it's going to be different. That doesn't mean it can't be fantastic. When baseball's back, that means other things are back. And that's a good thing. That means we're getting back to some normalcy in all our lives.
Yeah. I have to say this to you because it's important to me, but I'm a Boston kid. I grew up in Boston. And the mood around our dinner table was always predicated on what the Red Sox did the night before and what they were going to do that particular night. Now, my dad never lived long enough to see the greatness that you did with the Red Sox, but my mom did. And I have to tell you, she passed away a couple of years ago and had a wonderful life at the age of 90, but it was made richer and more complete by what you did with those 2 World Series. And that has to keep coming back at you. And I know you want to do it here in Cleveland too, but it meant the world to my family.
It's amazing, Jim, how sports, you try to explain it to people. And I think the best way, and this is the way I heard it, it can be the most important, unimportant thing in the world.
Yeah.
Sports is not life and death. We know that. But it's amazing how wrapped up you can get in it with your team and how passionate you can get and how you feel when they're doing things well and how it can kind of be a kick in the stomach when they're not. It's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. Hey, Terry, thanks so much for doing this. Thanks for helping out the boys and girls clubs of Northeast Ohio. It's just great seeing you, and we look forward to seeing you back in that dugout.
I appreciate you having me. It was an honor. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of it.
Oh, great stuff from Jimmy and Tito. Always fun to catch up with Terry Francona. Now, I had a chance to catch up with Indians right-hander Carlos Carrasco, and the Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Ohio is near and dear to his heart. It was great to catch up with Carlos. Let's take a listen into that.
Carlos, I know I can speak for all Tribe fans. It's great to see you, and eventually, when it is time to play baseball, how much do you think you and your teammates are looking forward to getting out there, maybe taking care of some unfinished business from last year?
You know what? I think pretty much the same way that I feel right now. I feel so hungry right now to go back to the field and play baseball. My teammate too. So for right now, we have to stay home to take care of the family. So everything is what's going on right now for the entire war. So I think we have to be careful with that.
Why was it important for you to get involved with this organization, the Boys and Girls Club?
I think it's really important to get involved to them. And you know what? I think sometimes I just like to talk too much and to do everything and explain everything. But the hard work they're doing and I just get involved, they made me happy, man.
How important is it for you to give back? How important is that to you?
It's really important to get them back to the community. It's really important. And everything that I do, I always throw in there on the social media because I can spread that word to more people, to get involved to the community, more players, staff, everyone, because we know is a lot of people out there, kids, family, teenagers, they need help. So that's why it's really important to give back to the community.
And we can't wait to see Carlos back on the mound. And another player we can't wait to see back on the mound later this season is all-star closer Brad Hand. I had a chance to catch up with him earlier this week.
Brad, first of all, thanks for joining us. It's great to see you.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. And Our Kids, Our Tribe, partnership between WKYC and the Cleveland Indians, benefiting the Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Ohio. And Brad, I know you're really active with the Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Ohio. Just what is it about that cause that is so special to you?
You know, just trying to show these kids that, to have a little bit of fun. And, me and my wife, now that we've got some kids, we kind of want them to just to be able to give back a little bit, try to get them that experience as well. Last year was the first year we had of the helping hands we did, and it was just a fun experience for all of us.
How was it you first got involved with the Boys and Girls Club?
We were just looking for something. Me and my wife both liked helping kids that weren't as fortunate. So we just kind of came up with the Boys and Girls Club, and obviously it's a great thing that they do there, and just kind of enjoyed that.
What have these last few weeks or really this last month been like for you to be gearing up for the season and to be yanked out of spring training and be dealing with everything that's going on in the world right now?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was tough. We were a week away from heading to Cleveland to start the season, and then all this happened. But we all we're grateful for the time that we get to be able to spend with our family that we're not usually doing at this point in the year. But it's a little weird being home right now. But I think we all just have to do it with what we got, and try to get through this as quickly as possible.
And for pitchers and especially relief pitchers, I'd imagine, so much of spring training and the off season is gearing up to be ready for the start of the regular season, and to have it all on hold the way it is right now. What have you been doing to train to stay in shape and kind of just deal with the uncertainty of everything moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, right now it's kind of weird. I don't think anybody really knows what to do because we don't have a start date in line right now. So just trying to stay in shape. I think most of us were all pretty ready for the season as it was when we left. So trying to keep it going a little bit, stay in shape, keep throwing. So whenever stuff does clear up, that we're ready to go and ready to get back after it.
Now, have you been keeping in touch with a lot of teammates throughout all this?
Yeah, here and there. I mean, we got a group chat with most of the guys that were on the team, so we stay in contact a little bit. Just hoping everybody stays safe and stays healthy through this.
And then last thing here, I just know there's a lot of fans who were wishing they were watching you at Progressive Field right now, and instead of watching you on this, just any message to the Indians fans out there as they go through all this as well.
Yeah, I mean, I would just say everybody, stay safe, stay responsible, and hopefully this thing goes through faster than what we all hope, and we're back to playing baseball in Cleveland sometime this summer for sure.
Well, great stuff with Ben and Indians closer Brad Hand. Now, recently, Jim Donovan had an opportunity to catch up with Kenny Lofton, who was part of the boys club growing up. Let's take a listen into their interview.
It never, I repeat, never gets old seeing and talking to the great center fielder of those great Indians teams, Kenny Lofton. Kenny, I have to ask everybody that comes on the show, how are you doing personally as we are all staying at home? We're staying inside. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I step out when I have to go to the grocery store, but that's pretty much it. It's been crazy times, but I'm doing good. I'm just doing certain things at home, and I live not too far from the beach, so I get on my bicycle and just kind of get some exercise that way.
We are in a big endeavor here this evening, helping to raise money for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Ohio. And that's great that you're being a part of it. And the Indians have always done so much for the kids around Northeast Ohio, haven't they?
And these kids, there's been a certain opportunity for these kids can kind of do something. Think about the Boys Club for me as well. I grew up in the Boys Club, Boys and Girls Club. Oh, it was awesome. And I understand what these kids go through and what is needed for this. This is something that if I didn't have that, it'd have been crazy how I grew up. But it was an opportunity for me to get off the streets and get into the Boys and Girls Club. They had everything there for you.
So what would you do, Kenny? How did you use the clubs? What would you do specifically?
Well, for me, I play a lot of basketball there. They had that, and they had the ping pong games. They had pool. They had certain video games. But they also had an area where they had like the library where kids can go in there and do certain school projects. And that's what they had as well. So after school, I used to go to Boys Girls Club, and there's a lot of things you can do there.
So the money raised here tonight is going to go help open those doors to those clubs back up once it's safe for all of us to come out of our homes and go back to our everyday life. And that's going to be very, very important, not only for schools to open up, but also for these facilities that are so important. Once that final school bell rings, Kenny, and the kids, have these hours before they go back home to have somewhere to go.
Yeah, the good thing, the thing about it is, to this day, knowing how important these school teachers are, it's incredible. Yeah. Just seeing this homeschool stuff, it is off the chain. if these teachers don't get a raise or extra raise, it's wrong. Right. Because this homeschooling is hard. So when I think that these teachers need to get that, and these kids understand that they're now in the house and seeing how important school is today, seeing that, people need to look at that. And now the opportunity, these kids don't need to have a place after they get out of school to even go to just unwind a little bit. And the Boys and Girls Club did that for me.
He's a proud alum of a boys club in Chicago, Kenny Lofton forever, the great center fielder of the Indians. Kenny, thanks so much for helping out.
No problem. Anytime.
Well, thanks, Jimmy and Kenny. Awesome stuff as expected. And I don't know about you, Nick, but just listening to that, I'm ready for some baseball, and I'm ready for baseball season to be here. And obviously, there's a lot of uncertainty with everything that's going on. But if and when the Indian season does get here, I think you look at the talent on this team. I think we could be looking at a pretty fun season.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ben. We need it right now. We need baseball to be back to kind of bring everybody together and get excited about what's ahead this year. Once we take care of business on the medical front and what everybody's doing right now in their best in their best way possible. But yeah, I mean, for baseball, it'll be great to be back. And you're right. I think from an Indian standpoint, you look at the Central Division. Everybody's talking about a 3-team race, and I'll give you that the Minnesota Twins are the defending champs, and the Chicago White Sox spent a boatload of money, but the Indians, top to bottom, have a ton of talent, and you look at that starting rotation. It starts with those guys. If healthy, you really feel like that's one of the best units going right now in the American League, if not in all of Major League Baseball, and those guys can really carry these guys. So hopefully once baseball gets started, the Indians are right in the thick of it for Cleveland's sake and for Tribe fans, and we have some fun with the upcoming baseball season.
Yeah, no question about it. And like many, I've been keeping busy playing video games, playing MLB The Show, and using the Indians. And you mentioned the pitching staff, and I'd even take it a step further. Even that lineup, you throw out a guy like Francisco Lindor, Carlos Santana. I'm really excited to see what Cesar Hernandez can bring at second base, and all the way down the line. I think a lot of people expect Franmil Reyes to take a big step forward in the middle of the lineup. And who knows? A guy like Domingo Santana gets hot, and this team gets a chance to get healthy. I think, this team is going to be right there in the thick of the AL Central, if not the entire American League.
Are you a better manager, are you saying, than Terry Francona using these guys on the video game?
I wouldn't take it that far. I don't think they factored in all the new bullpen rules that are coming into the game. So I managed to move some guys around. I'm really excited to see Emmanuel Clase, though. You talk about a guy who can throw some heat, whether it's in the video game or in real life. I think that guy's going to be a fun guy to follow here.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't wait. Well, it's been fun bringing you through this with Ben Axelrod and myself. And we want to remind you, WKYC.com, right-hand side of the page, that's where you can donate to the Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Ohio. And don't forget, coming up on Channel 3, Jim Donovan and all of us will be doing our best job to bring you a great continuation of what Ben and I have already started, hearing from the Tribe, hearing from some of your favorite players, and really trying to help out the Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Ohio during these uncertain times. So make sure you're listening and watching that on Channel 3 starting tonight at 7:30.
And we will see you in a bit at 7:30 on Channel 3. Tune in. For Nick Camino, I'm Ben Axelrod. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for supporting the Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Ohio.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for giving us a place where we can learn and have fun.
Hi, this is Tom Hamilton, voice of the Cleveland Indians. The Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Ohio need your help. Please make a donation. It's very simple. All you do is go to WKYC.com and make a donation. That's all there's to it. Thanks so much for your support. Please stay safe and I hope to see you at the ballpark real soon.